Hey everyone, welcome back to Pepcoding. So in this video, we are going to solve a new question, which is basic calculator 3. So what we have to do, we have to implement a basic calculator to evaluate a simple expression string. String will contain only non-negative integers, that is plus, minus, multiplication, divide operators, and open and closing parentheses. All intermediate results will be in range of from minus 2 raised to power 31 till 2 raised to power 31 minus 1. Okay, so basically what we are given is if you have not solved the basic calculator and basic calculator 2 questions and have not watched those video yet, please go and watch those videos because these three questions are interconnected to each other. Like for in basic calculator, there what we were doing, there were the operators for plus, minus, opening and closing parentheses. We were playing with these operators. Then we came to basic calculator 2, in which what we were doing, we were playing with plus, minus, multiplication and division, right? Then now for basic calculator 3, this is the mixture of all these two problems. It has all the operators which were used in basic calculator and basic calculator 2. So we have in basic calculator, we have plus, minus, multiplication, division, opening and closing parentheses, all, right? So what we were doing in basic calculator, we were solving the parentheses first. We were having a sum variable and all the work was done with the within the sum variable only. In the basic calculator 2, what we were doing, we were doing all the calculations in a stack, and we had a sign variable. Whenever the multiplication and division operator came, what we were doing, we were popping out the element from the stack at the same time, and then we were doing the operations for multiplication and division separately and then pushing it into the stack again. Then we were doing the plus and minus operations, because as you all know, the division and multiplication sign has more priority than the addition and subtraction signs, right? Now coming to basic calculator 3, we have all the operators which are given here. So now the priority of these parentheses will be greater than the priority of multiplication and division. Then this multiplication and division have greater priority than plus and minus, right? So here at the highest priority is given to the parentheses first. Then the second priority is given to the multiplication and division operators. Then the third priority is for plus and minus, right? So let's see if we are given an example. 5 into 5 plus 6 minus 2 divided by 1 plus 7 divided by 8. So we have to solve this question. What we can do, this is a multiply operator, plus operator, minus operator. Then came the parenthesis. So we'll solve the parenthesis first. How we can simplify this? Minus 2 divided by 1 would be 2 plus 7 divided by 8. 5 into 5 plus 6 minus 9 divided by 8, which would be first. Now the parentheses are solved. So now coming back to our basic calculator 2, what we were doing, the multiplication and division have the same priority, so whichever come in the leftmost position, we'll solve that first. So we'll solve this multiplication sign first. We would have 25 plus 6 minus 9 divided by 8 would be 1, because the decimal part would be ignored. I've taught you in the basic calculator too that we have to just take the integer value and we have to ignore the decimal value while we are dividing two numbers. So this will be 1. Now solving plus and minus operators, this is easy. 31 minus 1 would be 30, will be the answer of this equation, right? So let's see one more example. If we are given 100 divided by 50 plus 61 minus 40 into 3 plus 10 minus 60. So now if we have to solve this one, we have done that the parenthesis is given the priority first. So 100 divided by 50 plus 61 minus, let's solve the parenthesis. We would have 120 plus 10 minus 60. 100 divided by 50 plus 61 minus 130 minus 60. So now parenthesis is solved now. Now coming to the multiplication and the division operators, we'll solve this first. This would give the answer 2 plus 61 minus 130 minus 60. So it would be 63 and minus 130 minus 60. 63 minus of 190, which would give 127. So 127 would be the answer of this equation, right? So how are we gonna do this? We'll make a stack, right? So if we have the equation 2 plus 2 multiply by, we have 3 into 3 minus 2 plus 6 divided by 5 into 6 plus 10 minus 20, right? So this is the given equation. What we would do, we have the sign operator. By default, the sign operator would have the plus sign as the default value. We'll make one more stack which will have the stored value, which can be restored afterwards when we solve our parentheses. So the plus sign is there, push it into the stack. Multiply sign came, multiply operator came, then parenthesis came. Now what we will do, pop this sign and the value from here and store it in the form of a pair, 2 and multiply operator, right? Then this parenthesis came, we have 3, right? So we have 3, then multiplication came, right? Multiply by 3, so pop it out and multiply by 3, it would give 9. Then minus operator came, minus 2, this would give 7, right? Parenthesis closed, 7. 7 will be stored in a value. So make the stack empty and value will contain 7 now, right? So now plus operator came. Now the value This restored parenthesis pair stack will be popped out and will be multiplied by 2 here. 14 will be the answer. This is stored in a value. Then plus came and we have 6 in the stack now. Then divide operator came, make it divide. Now, okay. Then parenthesis came. So what we would do, remove this divide and 6 operator. We'll have one more space here and we have 6 and divide operator as a pair here. And then we have 5 again. 5 here. Multiply operator. Then 6. Right? 6. So 5 multiplied by 6 is 30. Right? So 30. Then we have plus. Then we have 2 plus 10, which should be equal to 40. Right? This one is solved. Right? Then we have this one 40. Okay. So what we will do now, we have 40 as answer. So now parenthesis closed. Okay. Pop it out. And now 40 will be solved by this one. 6 divided by 40, which would give 0, right? So we have 0 and we had the plus operator here. So the value will contain 14 now. Then we have minus 20 and there is no parenthesis at all, minus sign. So restore the value again. And we have 14 minus 20 minus 6 as the answer now, right? So the stack will return minus 6. Again, let's see for another test case. We have 10 divided by 6 plus 40 minus 2 into 7 plus 18 minus 4, right? We'll make a stack. Sign will contain plus value as default. Plus value is there, 10 is there, push it into the stack. Divide operator came, pop it out from the stack. 10 divided by 6 will be equals to 1, right? Ignoring the decimal part, of course, would have 1. Then plus operator came. Then the parenthesis came. What we will do? Pop this value and the sign. We have 1 and the sign as plus. Make it a pair. 1 and the sign plus. Make it a pair and store here. So 40 came. Then minus operator came. Then we have 2 minus 2. So then into 7 came. So this will be solved first. 2 into 7. Pop 2 and solve it first. 2 into 7, which would be 14. So 40 minus 14, bracket closed. So now solve this. We would have 26, right? So now this will contain in a value as 26 as the bracket is closed now. Okay. So now because this was stored here 1 plus, what you would certainly do, 1 plus 26 will be 27. This would be stored in a value, right? Now we have 80 minus 4. Plus 18, we have plus sign, we have minus sign. Solve it, we have 14. Restore this value, of course. 27 plus 14, what would we have? We have 41, certainly, right? So this is how this question is solved. So let's code it now. So we are given a calculate function. Let's take the values. L1 equals to 0, int L2 equals to 1, int O1 equals to 1, and O2 equals to 1. Next, we will make stack of int type st, right? Then we'll store a size st dot string dot size equals to string dot size. Next, for start up with a for loop, I less than n, I plus plus. What we'll do, we'll make a character x which will contain the value string of I. Next, we will check if x is greater than equals to 0 and x is less than equal to 9. We have the characters between 0 and 9. Then we'll make a variable num which will be equal to x minus of character. Then we'll see while I plus 1 is less than n and string of I plus 1, I plus 1 is less than n and string of I plus 1 is greater than equals to 0 and s of I plus 1 is less than equal to 9. Then what we will do, we'll increment the I and num will get updated. Num equals to num into 10 plus this will complete the value. Okay, so now value is completed. How this is completing the value in the stack? Like if we are having 7 as the value, stack will contain 7 as it is. But if we had 70 as a value, then of course it will complete 7, then 0. It will complete the value first and then push it into the stack, right? So this function is of course completing the value, right? So yeah, the value is completed now. Next, we'll update the L2 equals to if O2 is equals to 1, we'll put ternary operator here. Then L2 into num, else L2 by num. This would do the operations for Multiplication and division, of course, right? And next, else if x is equal to opening bracket, then what we will push? L1 first. Okay, then O1. Then SC dot push L2, then O2. Right. Update the values again. L1 will be 0. Sorry. L1 would be 0. And then O2 would be 1. Then O1 will be 1 and then L2 will be 1. Resetting the values again. Okay. Certainly, next, else if x is equal to closing bracket. Then what we will do? We'll make a temp variable which will be equal to L1 plus O1 plus into L2. Okay. Next, we'll update O2, which should be equal to the top of the stack. And we will pop it out. Then our L2 will be the top of the stack now. And then pop it out. Again. Then next O1 will be the top of the stack. Okay. Then pop it out again. At last, we would be having L1 as the top of the stack. And pop it out again. Right. Next, L2 would be equals to, if O2 equals to 1, again the same thing. If O2 is equals to 1, then L2 into temp, L2 by temp, right? Else if x is equal to the multiplication operator or the division operator, x equals to divide operator, then O2 will be equals to, if x is equals to multiplication operator, then 1, else minus 1. Else minus 1. Done. Else if for the plus and minus operator equal to plus or x equals to minus operator, then what we will do? We'll check if x equals to minus operator, then and I is equals to 0 or I minus 1 is greater than 0, and s of string of I minus 1 is equal to opening parenthesis. Then O1, okay, yeah, right. Yeah, then O1 would be equals to minus 1, and we will continue. Okay, else coming out of the loop, we'll update the L1, which will be equal to O1 into L2. Next, O1 will be equals to if x equal to plus operator, then it would be 1, else minus 1. Right. And L2 will be restored to 1 and O2 will be restored to 1. After this, we'll return L1 plus O1 into L2. Let's run this code now. Okay, there's some problem. A U came. Let's run this code. Okay, let's submit it. The output is coming as expected. All the test cases passed. So yeah, I hope I was clear with the concept, and thank you so much for watching this video. Don't forget to like, share and subscribe to our YouTube channel. Thank you so much.